Behind us, Mr. Derek Johnson. Thank you for joining us. I am decked out in my Battlehawks gear because no matter what happens in these last 2 weeks, Arlington, the XFL championship's gonna be played in St. Louis.
Right behind you.
And no matter what happens, the USFL championship will be played in Birmingham. So regardless, we have spring preseason, late preseason spring football for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, so yeah. Well, I'm the A train, ladies and gentlemen, and I think at this point right now we're looking at 2 weeks that we don't even need to really care for at this point, right?
I mean, Arlington, let's be honest. Do we really need to care about it?
Like, honestly, they could lose all 4 teams could lose their next 2 games. And they still get in the playoffs. And it's all going to be in the same place. What's up, Eric?
It doesn't matter or anything like that. Arlington, there was one thing that I found very, very interesting, and I want to play that for you. If I can. If I can play this for you, I would love. Can I do that? Can I play this? Are you sure? Let's talk about
what this. Are you playing for one? That should be the question.
Do what? Why would I tell you that? You know me. I love surprising you.
And what the heck is that? What is that?
You like that? That's our new logo. You like that? The X-Fan Show logo. Pretty damn snazzy, isn't it? Huh?
I guess so.
You like that?
I'm gonna have to, you know how I am with like the Battlehawks logo is gonna take some time to get used to.
I know, right? The new X-Fan Show logo. I think it's pretty stellar, man. What do you guys think of the new logo? Let me know. But Arlington, there was an individual at the press conference today that had some words about the championship game.
Yeah, we've heard that going into this week, and we're really a little frustrated that if it comes down to that, like I feel like we do need to play in a neutral spot because playing back in St. Louis, I played there, so it's like just having that home field. For them, that home field advantage while we're the home team is I don't think it's fair. And I think a neutral site. We've even talked about what about just playing back in Arlington where we don't have to travel, save a lot of money, and play there. And I don't know. I just think the league got to figure that out. Yeah, we've heard that.
What's up, sir? How are you? Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening. That is from
Wyatt. Happy birthday. Happy belated. I think his birthday was this past week. So
it was. Arlington, that was from our guy Jordan Ta'amu.
Hey, that's your guy. Jordan cut me completely out.
Well, anyways, I have
nowhere near him anymore.
Before we even get into everything, let's talk about this because I had a very interesting concept, Arlington. Okay?
That we discussed.
And, I've talked to a few other people about it, off the air and stuff. But Arlington, people, hear me out. That is true. They did, Derek, but think about it. If you win out the division, you're supposed to have home field advantage. Now you don't anymore in a playoff game. Now, mind you, Jordan is 5-1 in the domes. If I'm not mistaken, Arlington, he's done pretty damn well for himself in the domes. Arlington, has he not?
Mm-hmm.
But Arlington, hear me out. Like Jordan said, he goes, we could have played in a neutral site, right? He said that, Arlington. Listen, we know that the World Cup is coming into the United States. The Junior World Cup, I apologize. The Junior World Cup is coming to the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they couldn't play in Arlington or in DC if DC went out. But you'd have thought, Arlington, this league would have had that all figured out. Another misstep by this league. But hey, you're a startup league. That's okay. You're going to have some missteps and stuff like that, right, Arlington? You're going to have that. It's just going to happen. So it is. So beside the point, it sucks that DC does lose the home field advantage. But Arlington, hear me out. Are you ready? Well, thank you for watching from Mexico, Mr. Lopez. We appreciate that. Arlington, we're international. We've known that for a while. I mean, but thank you from watching all the way there in wherever that is. Where I just know you're in Mexico, bro. I just know you're in Mexico, so that's what I love. But Arlington, hear me out. You ready? Tell me what you think of this championship, the UFL Conference Championship games, right? Jordan said, we could play it in a neutral site like Arlington. No travel, cost us no money. We walk right across the streets to play in the game.
Did he like listen to us or something? Like,
Arlington, you think about it, man. You have a game at 2, right? Well, you move it up to noon, right? Or whatever. Then you put a concert in between or something in between the games. And then you have the following game. You turn it into a UFL championship, conference championship weekend. You turn it into a destination. And you bring all of the super fans and all of the fans from the UFL. Arlington, you ready? I'll even throw one more. If you buy a ticket, it gets you into the second game for free. For free.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You want to put both games in Arlington and you still
Correct.
keep the championship game in St. Louis, right?
Correct.
So that means you still have to travel regardless.
You're still going to travel to St. Louis, but you don't have to now, Arlington, think about it. The weekend before, they're going to have to do travel for 4 teams, right? 4 teams. 2 to Birmingham, 2 to St. Louis. 2 hotel rooms. No fans in Arlington. This league's money. That's exactly what it is. I get it. I get it. Guys, again, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Missing the point. This league does not care about butts in the seats. They don't care about it. They only care about that TV. They only care about that TV rating.
So, all right, if you're saying that, then the league won't do it. But if the fans try and pull that off, they will get it removed, right? So it's like, where do the fans come in? Where do we get it? Where do we come in at? You know what I mean?
Mike, if that's the case, then why are the St. Louis Battlehawk games?
I wish we could have waited.
I'm going to say it now because I don't know what this. I'm up until week 8. Why are the St. Louis Battlehawk games consistently one of the lowest rated games of the year? Away games, home games, lowest rated games of the year. Some of the lowest TV views. I mean, listen, look right here. Eric says it's fair. Guys, I understand that. How is it fair to DC? You're right. You're right. DC has not secured the XFL conference. You're absolutely right. They haven't. Now, apparently Birmingham has, but regardless,
that won't matter anyway, though, JR.
Eric and I agree with you. It's because we're not at home watching the games. But how do you explain last week's game in Memphis when we only did 295,000? There wasn't 30,000 at Liberty Field. I get it. St. Louis fans will. I mean, it's a 9-hour drive to Arlington. A 9-hour drive to Arlington. No, because see, that's not necessarily true because last week's game for the Battlehawks in Memphis was on ABC. Was it not, Arlington? Was it not on ABC?
I think it was on ESPN.
Was it? Well, I'm going to find out right now. I'm just saying, guys, look, to make this fair, to me and in my opinion, Arlington, this looks Bush League. And how are we going to attract new fans to this league, right?
Can't get Joe Tessitore to do every game now. Can't get Joe Tessitore on every game, man.
I just looked it up. It is ESPN. It was ESPN. You're right. You can't, because Joe makes the games exciting. To listen to Joe do the games, it makes it exciting.
Hey, shout out to Tim Brando yesterday, who did the Battlehawks and Stallions game. I know it looked different for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the sound was not what I was expecting, but that's how Brando calls games.
Derek says it. You're right. These two teams, all four of these two teams, should just lose their next two games because it doesn't matter. These four teams are in the playoffs, so it does not matter.
It doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter who wins or what, because it's already been set. The press releases have already been put out that the USFL championship game is going to be in Birmingham again, and the XFL conference championship game is going to be here in St. Louis. Arlington, look, this is what I'm telling you. Again, like Jordan says, we're talking about a league who is hemorrhaging money. Who cares that if St. Louis is putting 30,000 distributed and sold tickets in a stadium when you're still losing money? You're still bleeding money. Arlington, if we figure it up, we're probably talking with players, coaches, training staff, front office staff. You're probably talking close to $60 million to run some of these teams, to run this operation of a league, right?
Mm-hmm. It definitely takes close to $500,000. It can go anywhere from $500 million to $1 billion.
Yeah, like right here it says, or maybe DC should just use a chip on their shoulder and went out to prove a point. LOL. Listen, I mean, we're gonna get into that. The best games of the week for sure. But Arlington, that's just my idea of what you should do. I mean, if you think about it, I can tell you this: I would travel to Arlington to go watch both of the championship games. Would you not?
It would be it's for just both. Yeah, I understand that. Make it a conference championship party weekend.
Exactly.
They're doing this big pizza party thing. That they're
pizza. Like, come and do a tailgate. I mean, that's what I would do. It would be great. See, look, Eric said he would travel. I mean, I'm telling you, I would leave and travel to go to that because I think it would be an experience. It would be a great, and that's what this UFL has said all along, is that they want to make this about the fans, right? Big tailgates with all the fans. They said they wanted to make this about the fans, right? Okay, now you're alienating an entire two entire fan bases in DC, who is your number 2 defense. What's up, Antonio? Your number 2 attendance, and you're alienating the Michigan Panthers, who have been coming up and starting to put asses in the seat at Ford Field. Then get and have the people there. I mean, Amanda, I think they should just do the championship in Arlington too. For the simple fact is, it costs no travel. It costs them nothing to put that game on there. Nothing at all. I mean, if I'm trying to save money, and we've seen, and this is league-wide, this just ain't Houston, Memphis. This is league-wide. We've seen the attendance drop. We've seen it drop. I mean, guys, if you guys can honestly tell me there were 30,000 people in that dome on Saturday, you're crazy. Because I can tell you the number because I have it. I'm not supposed to, but I have it.
Don't tell
I can tell you this. there wasn't 10,000 people that were really that affected by the tornadoes. And our hearts and prayers go out to all the people in the St. Louis metro area that were affected by the tornado that came in, the very fast moving tornado that came in very fast on Friday. Our thoughts and prayers go out to that. I know, Arlington, your sister had some damage done to her house.
No, let's be clear. She was near it, but she didn't have any.
Have any damage, but I know people around
her. Near it, but she didn't have any. What's going on, Ascalberg? It was great seeing him at the game yesterday. So,
that's my thought. What do you think? What do you think?
I don't have any problem with a championship weekend.
Like Chris, right here, a guy like Chris, right? A guy like Chris.
Yeah, you got to make championship weekend matter, right?
You have to. Now, like a guy who's in Michigan, who's a Panthers fan, his team could win out, and he doesn't get to hold the home field advantage for his team. How is that fair to the people in Michigan?
Well, it can't be that bad considering the fact that Birmingham and St. Louis both have had their share of successes team-wise. But I still feel some type of way that the venues that, if you're really looking at it from the venue standpoint, Birmingham was second, and then Ford Field is first in the USFL conference in attendance.
Look, even Excalibur is saying it. Should be in a neutral site. It should be in Arlington, Texas. And they should do an entire UFL conference championship weekend. Until the Renegades make the playoffs, and then it's not fair.
Listen, about them Renegades. The Renegades have never gotten over 500 in spring football.
That is true. They have not.
Any season. Don't matter if it's XFL, UFL, whatever.
Likes the idea.
Never.
No, right here. Chris likes the idea. I'm telling you, Arlington, that's my thought. That's my hot take on it. That's what I thought the league should have done, because this would have made this league look less a bush league, as you could say, as you've been seeing people on Facebook, X, everything, talking about how bad of a decision this really is. Arlington, that's all I have to say on that. Do you have anything else you want to say on it?
I mean, if they would have kind of followed some of the idea like what they did in 23, like San Antonio was not a bad place to hold a championship game, right? He had 20,000, to attend. And even then in 23, we made it one big party.
Yes, we did.
And that could have been arranged again for the upcoming season. And like you said, even they were doing it in Arlington, you still can make one big UFL party weekend. You got the Pizza Hut sponsorship. You could make it a big pizza party weekend.
Yes, you could.
And it also entails that you need to keep the game out of the summer. That's what it also entails.
Correct.
The game does not need to be in June. It needs to be in May. It's already getting warm as it is now.
Well, and it was 101 degrees in Arlington, or in where's that state? Where's that? Houston. We could trade. No, Joe, it's not wrong. If St. Louis wins out and wins the XFL conference, no, it's not wrong. I'm saying I'm just saying this. If St. Louis doesn't win out, it's not fair to the DC fans to have to come back to St. Louis to play their game. That's all I'm saying. Now, if St. Louis wins out, fine. Then you hold the XFL championship in St. Louis. You hold it there. Am I right, Arlington, or am I wrong?
No, you're right about that. I'm talking about this comment from Chris.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
UFL should have bought Sam Stadium in Vegas. No.
So, JR, I agree with you, bro. If they win out, then yeah, then the championship game should be held here. But you know what I would do? Even still, though, what I would still do is because of the financial burdens that this league has, I would still just do it all in Arlington. I would just do it as one big giant damn weekend. That's what I would do. But that's just me.
They need a marketing agency because there's no way you mean to tell me that this was the best marketing that they could have pulled off this season for the UFL.
Right, yeah.
You can't sit here and tell me that. You can't sit here and tell me that. And, you know, with businesses, you have to spend money to make money, right?
Yeah.
And if you would have based it around the fans, I think you would have had a better opportunity of having better crowds for this. Like when we had the 40,000 back in 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was pissed when the merger came. It's like, dang, we gotta go through this now. There was no consistency, so it made it difficult for fans, especially of their teams, especially even the 4 teams that are no longer even a part of spring football, especially with this modern spring football league that they did. You killed that.
Excalibur, look, listen, I think St. Louis is just going to show out just to show out. But, I mean, as we've seen all year, attendance doesn't matter. We don't even care about attendance on this show anymore. We're not talking about it. We're just talking about the unfairness of if Michigan and D.C. wins out that they can't get to play their home game for a
So we need to find a neutral site for them.
Respective championships. That's all we're saying. But, I mean, there's still the option. I mean, like for Michigan, it doesn't matter. If Michigan wins out, they still have to play in Birmingham. Right? And actually, because Birmingham beat them twice, that's the reason why, even though.
Well, no, Birmingham has to play them this next week.
Oh, you're right. So regardless, week 9 and week 10 for those 4 teams do not matter.
And then it gets weird in week 10. That means, again, the Battlehawks have to play the same team twice.
Mm-hmm.
They have to play them that week 10, and then they got to play them again in the conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second.
Stadium. UFL has the stadiums, Chris. It's called Choctaw Stadium.
They do. Yeah.
Stadium. It's called
Stadium. Choctaw Stadium. Yeah.
They own that stadium, basically. Yeah.
That's the UFL's base.
Eric said here, a lot of free tickets this weekend due to the survey. And you're right. So we'll see. What's bullshit, Dave? Tell us what bullshit is, please. That's what I'd love to know. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into the games before we go to our power rankings.
All right. We're gonna do the games as they were, or you just want to go ahead and do?
No, we'll do them like we normally do them, right? We'll do
games of the week.
Worst game to the best, right?
Okay.
Normally we do them as yardage per their game, right?
Yeah. So go ahead and throw the yards out, man.
Okay. So our number 4 game.
You got to go by the number of yards first.
Well, yeah, total yards, right? Total yards. I don't have all the other stuff. We're just going to buy total yards, right, today.
You don't have it? You like what you sent to me?
Oh, yeah, I have it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, okay, hold on. So let me get to it. Okay, so the total yards for this game, the number 4th game. And, Chris, I don't think you're going to be happy with us. On our 4th game of the week, 695 total yards in these 2 games with a net total yards of 254 and 441. But Arlington, how do you come back to lose a game? If there's one, as much as I love it, Mr. CJ Johnson finds ways to lose games in big ways. Our worst game of the week, unfortunately,
it's Michigan and Houston.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Chris. Dave. That's what we're saying. It is bullshit. That's why we say Move it to a neutral site. Yes, Chris, we know. We know. Don't worry, Joe. We'll talk about that game. We'll talk about that game. Don't worry. We'll talk about that game. Arlington, why? Because normally we do it by the yardage, right? Why are we giving this game the worst game of the
Because
week?
the fact of the matter is, one, they didn't announce until kickoff that Bryce Perkins was not playing. Two, Danny Edley beat the sleeves off of Houston. And three,
He went nuclear.
You say what?
He went nuclear.
As Chris put out there. And three, it's Houston. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, you Roughneck fans. And putting y'all through a brutal year. A really brutal year.
So here's some more. Here it is, Michigan with 254 in total yards, 159 for the passing, 95 for rushing yards. To Houston's 441. Jalen McClellan's best game so far at 316 passing yards and 125 rush total yards for these guys. Arlington, I just don't understand what it is with this.
What's there to understand?
They have so much talent on this team. Is this the head coach or is this the offensive coordinator?
A lot of them have been going after Price.
Yes, a lot of them. And where do you
like you said, the talent is there. Do you think if CJ was not the head coach of this team, that this team would be very different? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you think if you remove Curtis Johnson from the mix and throw in, I don't know, AJ Smith, who does check in with us from time to time on this show? Thank you.
I think AJ could make this a different team, right? I mean, Justin Hall, I don't understand how they lost this game, but Justin Hall, 11 catches for 88 yards. Justin Hall had another great game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Jalen McKinnon had another great game. Like what Sabrina says right here. CJ makes bad decisions, and he doesn't allow his quarterback to modify them as needed when he's on the field and gets mad. Again, we're going to go back. Is that CJ or is that Bryce? Because we've seen in a couple games where CJ said, you want to run it? Run it to Jalen. You want to run it? Run it. You know what I'm saying, Arlington? So the question is, what is the issue here in Houston? I don't know. I can't hear you. You're muted. Unmute.
I'm almost speechless. I'm speechless, man. I don't know what to say.
Right? You have to be. You have to be speechless. Am I right?
I'm speechless, man. I don't know.
All right, Arlington.
I don't know.
Second game.
It sucks, man. It sucks for them, and it sucks for that the Roughnecks have to go with that. And honestly, they got back into TD-ECU Stadium, and still nobody want to go and see that team.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. When you said 4,000 is the attendance figure, I know that seemed like that was too high. It seemed like 400 was there inside the room.
And I talked to, I got some people there and we got some people there in Houston, and they said it was 101 degrees this weekend. So that would be very, very, very
Which
warm.
goes back to my original point. Can we push the league back to February?
I got a thought on that. We'll talk about that later. I got a thought on that. All right, Arlington. Are you ready? We going to game number 3?
Game number 3. So the worst one was Michigan and Houston. Game 3.
Correct. Game number 3. Now, technically, this should have been the lowest game of the week. Because it had the lowest amount of yards at 452 with a score of 24-22.
If you happen to be paying attention down to the ticker down at the bottom, you'll see what the scores were. And for that said, the third best game would be considered the.
Hold on, wait. But the reason why this is number 3 and not the last game, because the team that went to overtime had 14 total passing yards. 14 total passing yards. Arlington, how is that possible to win a game with 14 total passing yards?
You got to have a good defense, man. You got to have a really good defense.
Or you rush for 153 yards.
Oh, and rush for 150 yards, yeah.
You have a total of 167 total yards. Listen, Coach Turner, I love you, bro. You definitely said you was going to shake some shit up when I asked you the question. You said, I like Dresser, but the dude, these other two guys have had a really shitty time. I'm shaking it up, and a lot of people are going to be pissed off at me. Well, Coach Turner, I applaud you, sir, because you had the cojones to shake it up after you had Dresser win that had over 700, almost 800 yards in his 3 starts. You shook it up, and you put in the great Troy Williams, who got you that went 5 for 11, 36 yards, a completion rating of 45%. You got 14 total passing yards, and you beat the Brahmas.
You get the golf clap.
Horrible, Chris. What's horrible about it?
The fact that the game went to overtime was even more. They put the icing on the cake, man.
And it was the overtime.
I was hoping. I really was. I was watching the end of the game.
I'm dumbfounded, Arlington.
I was hoping at the end of the game that they were going to continue on, scoring in overtime. I would hope they'd have kept going.
Does it have over 1 million viewers on Friday? For Friday night game? Because that's what it was on Fox. Everybody gets it for free. Everybody gets Fox TV for free. You just put up a digital antenna, boom, you get Fox for free. For free. Yeah, I don't know if the Brahmas screwed themselves. They only allowed 14 total passing yards, Dan. They just couldn't tackle.
San Antonio screwed San Antonio.
Arlington, I'm just dumbfounded how you get 14 total passing yards and you still win a game. Please, somebody explain that to me. I'm going to have to get on the next conference call with Coach Turner. I'm going to say, Coach Turner, I love you, bro. I love you. I've been to the games. I've been on these press conferences. But how in the hell did you – listen, the Memphis Showboats and the San Antonio Brahmas game from week 8 are like the game of the year. Game of the year. Game of the year. And here's the reason why, Arlington. Are you ready why it's the game of the year?
You calling this the game of the year?
I'm calling it the game of the year, Arlington.
No.
You want to know why it's the game of the year, Arlington?
Why?
You want to know why it's the game of the year? You want to know why?
Why?
14 total passing yards, and you won. I
agree, Dad. The defense bailed them out. I agree with you.
It is the game of the year.
James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom called it the toilet bowl. This is the UFL's version of the toilet bowl.
All you want, Mr. Larsons. I love you, James. I respect you, Larsons. But sometimes you don't know what you're talking about. And this is one of those times, Larsons. I'm going to text Larsons right now. And I'm like, Larsons, I'm blasting you on this show. If you don't believe me, Arlington, I'm going to show you. Look, I got my phone out. Ready? I'm going to tell Larsons. I love him, but I'm saying, Larsons, I'm blasting you on this show right now. You think I'm joking, don't you, Arlington?
Oh, man, I got a message saying somebody's watching me on their television.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look, I just posted the video, the photo. I don't think they can see the name on it, but if you can see the name, good job.
Now, look, Arlington, I just texted the great James Larsons, and I said, I'm blasting you on this show right now. Mr. Larsons, I love you, buddy. I love you.
You are right. But guess what?
No. That was not the game of the year. The game of the year happened on Friday night, and the team that won had 14 total passing yards.
But here's the problem. Okay, so let me ask you this then, sir.
No, damn it. You can call it the tank bowl. You can call it the toilet bowl. You call it whatever you want. But when a team wins with 14 total passing yards, that makes it the game of the year. Hands down.
Thank you, Denzel. Thank you. Look, you got Excalibur rolling, man.
Down.
Showboats versus Bombers was the tank bowl. Yes, it was the tank bowl.
Oh, Dan, I love you, Dan.
Hey.
You know what you are, Dan? I love you, but you know what you are, Dan? An idiot.
Basically, what you're saying to him is
you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Yes, I'm saying it right now. Max Duggan is a better passer than Troy Williams. Because you know why? Because Max Duggan didn't get 14 yards in a game. But Troy Williams did, and he won a game. Argue the point with me. Argue the point. You can't. Even though it's the third worst game of this week, it's the number one game of the year. Because, Arlington, you want to know why, Arlington?
Why, sir?
Can we tell you why, buddy? Can we tell you why? Zoom in on me, Arlington. Zoom in on me. Come on. Let's go. Ready?
You moving on now?
No. The toilet bowl, the tank bowl, is the number one game of the year. Because Eric said it, I'm saying it. I know Mr. Larsons is watching now. Even though he didn't like that game, it was the best game of the year. Why? 14 passing yards is why it was the best game of the year. I don't care. Dan, I don't care that if turnovers and penalties helped Memphis. I watched the game. Eric, tell him again, Eric. Tell him again why. That this game is the best game of the year, Eric. I'm gonna take
Apparently,
your
Tim, we're yapping about 14 yards. That's what we
14 yards. Not 300. Not 300. Not 200.
14.
Not 400. 14 yards. Right here. See, Eric said it again. 14 yards.
It's crazy that you mentioned that, though, right?
Yeah, see, even Chris is saying it now. Best game of the year. Birmingham, the Brahmas versus Showboats. Best game of the year.
But okay, if it's the best game of the year, how are we ranking it as the third best game of the week?
But we're not doing games of the year, are we? We're just doing games of the week.
That don't make sense.
Listen, I'm telling you right now. Mark my words. If it doesn't hit 1 million, if that game does not hit 1 million I will dye my hair. I will dye my hair. You know?
You said 50,000 doable if they make the title game. I think not. No.
I can see 50.
No. I doubt it. I doubt that heavily.
We'll see.
I doubt that heavily.
Yeah, you're right. For the game of the year, yeah. They won. They won the game. Won it. Winning.
You said he wants to dye his hair. He's done it already.
I've done that already.
Amanda said, I guess Great Clips is doing it.
Yeah, look right here. Look right here. What Excalibur said. Dolphins won the Super Bowl with only 70-some passing yards.
Nice caliber, man. Really?
Best game of the year.
Come on, Excalibur. I know that's who it is, man.
Let's move on to the
Anybody
second.
Look.
What?
You want 50,000 so bad, man. Put 40,000 Friday then. Against the Brahmas.
I agree. If we want 50, let's put 40 in this week.
Let's put okay. And then when we get to the championship game, the conference championship, we got to do it again.
I agree. Yeah.
And what is it? Father's Day?
What is the championship game?
The championship game is on the UFL championship game is on Father's Day, right?
Yeah, Dan, you're right. I'm obsessed with 14 yards because it won a football game. Yeah, you're damn right. I'm obsessed with it because it won a fucking football game.
Okay, let's get him to calm down just a little bit over 14 yards, folks. Goodness gracious. But what I do know is this is the X-Fan Show. This is the A-Train Arlington Lane. That is that goofy guy's Spurge.
14 yards.
We need to make you a shirt. Put Memphis colors on it and then put 14.
Okay. Why?
See? I told you, Amanda, I tried, man. I tried. I literally tried, y'all. You know I can't with this dude. I can't, man. Can't win.
$14 yards. 14 passing yards.
Mind you, Shane, they did 40,000 the first game of the year, and that was back in 2023. It didn't happen when the merger happened. But my point is, it can be done. It should be done. And if the Battlehawks are good enough to make it to the championship, let's go.
Like Dan said here, last year the game was on a Sunday at 3:00. Hey, so guys, listen, if you still don't have your tickets for the next 2 weeks, reach out to this guy right here, our good friend Dan Chandler. Dan, put your email in there to where people can reach out to you to get tickets for the next 2 weeks.
I trust you, man. I trust you, baby.
I trust Dan with the 38. But Dan, put your email in here so we can put it up there. If you guys still do not have tickets for the championship, or if you don't have tickets for week 9.
Oh, so it was the opening game. It was the 40K. Okay. All right. My bad. Okay. I got my years mixed up. Right.
If you guys don't have your tickets for next week's game and for the championship and the XFL championship, reach out to Dan Chandler. Dan, put your email up there. Give Dan a holler. He will hook you up and take care of you. Dan's a really, really good guy. All right, Arlington, let's go to number 3 or number 2.
All right. Brahma Babe has sent a message saying, make sure you keep her posted on the storms because she's planning to fly out on Thursday.
Right. All right, right there, guys. You can see it. Dan.Chandler@UFL.com. Go reach out to Dan. He will get you taken care of for the remainder of this season. And hell, even if you want to, you feel froggy, put a $50 deposit down through with Dan. Do it that way too. So there you go. There's Dan's email. We'll send this back out later for you guys and all of that stuff. All right, Arlington. I agree.
Number two.
And $2 hot dogs would bring, and kids free, might bring more people on a Friday night. That's a smart idea. That's a smart idea.
Make it a kids' night.
Make it a kids' night.
I don't know.
All right, Arlington.
Kids' day, because it is the last home game. Well, actually, believe it or not, that was the last home game against the Stallions. That was the last. This upcoming game that's in St. Louis is actually a road game for the Battlehawks.
Dan, thank you. Dan, can you believe a game was won with 14 passing yards? Game of the year. Game of the year. Doesn't matter, Dan. Game of the year. How do you win a game with 14 passing yards? That's all I got to know. All right, Arlington, number two. This game had 644 total yards.
All right, Battlehawk fans, you're gonna have to lay off of me for a second, okay? I understand you're gonna say this should have been number one, but it wasn't, folks. Number two is Battlehawks Stallions. The reason why that was the case, because number one was a masterclass. Come on, y'all. Even though it was a big screw up at the end of the game, and a lot of y'all couldn't watch it. And they changed the ESPN.
We're gonna tune over to NBA Countdown right here with 30. Hey, Austin.
You need to turn the other way, sir. Turn to your right.
Hey, Austin. It's Dirty Carry. You know, I got a little tipsy with my big black cup here this afternoon.
I don't like where this is going.
When I switched the game over so people couldn't see the last few minutes of that craziness that happened. Can you believe it? Did you see it? Oh, okay.
It's hot water.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, I will say this. This game that we're getting ready to talk about with the Brahmas and the Battlehawks is possibly top 5, maybe top 3. It doesn't beat the 14-yard winning game. That's number one. Number one. Brahmas versus the Showboats. 14 passing yards. Said and done. Now, this could be definitely in the number 2, number 3, somewhere in there. Arlington, what a game. And listen, I have been a not so much fan of Max Duggan, right?
Yeah.
But I will say
either.
this. I will
I'm
say
not either, man.
Max had a hell of a game, 12 for 21, 110 yards. He did have the one interception, but here's where he did it at.
Okay. I want to speak on that.
Yeah.
I want to speak on that.
Mm-hmm.
They found out that the interception was deflected. It was a deflection.
Fast.
And I was going to sit there. I was going to dog him and say, what kind of dude makes a throw like that?
I did go back and watch the game. I did go back.
It was a straight up deflection. So, Max, I will back off of you. That was not entirely your fault.
Like Dan said, Duggan is a gamer. I'll say this. The one thing we were there when Duggan did the score on the touchdown. We were sitting right there in that end zone, right? And it got called back for a holding, and then Sailors came back and got it again. Oh, no, Duggan did get it. Listen, I'm going to say it now, Arlington. I concede. Max Duggan played a very great game. He did exactly what he needed to do to keep us in this game at all times. At all times. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a game won with 14 yards. Max Duggan had 110. But Arlington, let's not get it twisted.
Yes, I still want Manny over freaking Max. I don't care what you think. It's just that right now, Max is the starting quarterback for the Battlehawks.
He's getting better. Ooh, I like this idea. The UFL should do season tickets and tailgate packages. And for the cities that don't tailgate, they do parking. He reminds me of a smaller Josh Allen. Okay. There's one thing I gotta say. Max Duggan wants to win, and he will do whatever it takes. Take a lot of unnecessary hits to win that game. But what won the game for us, and I've dogged on them and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They allowed 124 rushing yards. Even though they allowed the 245 passing yards, that damn defense of the Battlehawks stepped up every single time we needed them to. Stepped up every single time we needed them to step up. This defense, our defense, won us this game.
And you know what? I was thinking that Travis Feeney was the one that made the play on CJ Marable when it was actually Peter that made the strip. So
yeah.
And definitely, Eric, defense does win championships. I was really nervous watching that because they were driving, and they were actually driving to set up Harrison Mevis for a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
It would have looked like. And so when Peter was able to make the strip, we both looked at each other. We looked at each other, was like, what just happened? And it was like the game ended.
And that was the first time, Arlington, we were in a Battlehawk game together.
And it was that close?
We went to what? We went to one last year together. It had been a while since we actually sat with each other.
Oh, and watched the game. Yeah. Stop it, Eric. Stop it, Eric.
I mean, here, Arlington, let me just give you the stats, okay? Going into the third quarter, the Battlehawks defense had allowed 277 yards, 87 rushing yards, right? But here's where
Pause. Sabrina, go back and watch the video again. You'll see Peter's right arm pop out the ball from CJ Marable. Feeney is on top of Marable when he's going for the tackle. But Peter reached his hand around with his right arm and popped the ball out of Marable. And you'll see it. It's Peter's arm.
But Arlington, we go into the fourth quarter, right?
This is what, 21-16?
Yeah, this is what the defense did. They only allowed 106 total yards, the least amount of yards they had allowed in any since the first and second quarter, right? Okay, 106 yards. They only allowed 34 rushing yards, 72 passing yards. Then that's when the 12th man started coming. Remember I said the 12th, this is the only team I'm worried about, and the Dome started going. You're talking, 17, 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know our show sucks, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the worst show of all time.
It's the worst show of all time. It's the worst show of all time. We're not taking credit away from Feeney. Well, I'm not. Arlington is. Anyways.
Really? That's what you're doing?
Yep.
I said Feeney made the tackle.
Oh, I'm just saying. You're taking. Listen. Arlington, we did not get a false start.
Actually, there were two.
In the last 2 minutes of the game.
No. Somebody had pointed it out that there was a false start in the second quarter.
No,
but
that wasn't a false
start. Was.
No, it wasn't. It was an illegal motion. An illegal motion is what it was. It wasn't a false start. The first start came with 1:05 left in the game.
Listen, I don't care if it's 10,000, 30,000, 50,000. That place there was loud, considering what happened. And shout out to tight end Jay Sternberger. He said, "Man, that atmosphere was crazy." And he said, he congratulated the Battlehawks as the better team won in that case. Same thing with Jamar Smith and I can't think of the corner that made the interception early. Dang it, because he was in the press conference right there with Skip. But y'all can help me if you like. I have no problem. Oh, no wonder You got a stalker.
Oh, wait. Okay. I just went to the penalty thing. At 14:55,
The second quarter.
first quarter, 14:55, there was a false start.
So there were 2 false starts.
First 5 seconds of the game. I don't count that shit.
Hey, but Birmingham got it though. Correct.
Yeah, but still, 2 false starts and that loud, how loud and crazy that was with that crowd. You know, I mean, it was amazing. Guys, I mean, I underthink, you know, listen, these guys are starting to learn how to do it for us. These teams are learning on how to beat us. We got to find another way to help our team with these penalties and false starts, because Arlington, we looked it up. When Jordan and them were here, they had no false starts when they played us here in St. Louis. None whatsoever.
Well, I will say Jordan had pretty much taught them boys what to do and what to expect.
And congratulations to Carson Wells for being a father.
Yeah, he did get a good surprise after the game was over. So yeah, that was fantastic to see.
Now, Arlington, this was a good game. I mean, it's definitely in the top 5 for best games of the year.
This weekend alone, you could pretty much sum up that it'll be 3 of these games will be in somebody's top 5 this weekend alone.
Well, I mean, listen, there's only one top 10 that matters in this UFO space world, and it's ours. And I can tell you right now, 3 of these games are in 1, 2, and 3. Don't matter, Dan. It don't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They still won with 14 yards. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Best game of the week
is the master classes from your boy and the King of Spring, Arlington and DC, 33-30.
Well, I would say now that Luis Perez is actually the king of making some of the dumbest plays I've ever seen in my entire life. What? I got to go back and watch the press conference. Who in the hell, with 8 seconds left, decides we're going to do a fake spike and then throw the ball?
Hey, you know, without shadow of a doubt, Luis called that play, thinking that he could fake it and thinking that he was going to get. Yeah, he tried.
Well, listen, you can't fake something when you stare down to your receiver and you lock eyes with something.
And Baker read that perfectly. Speaking of which, we saw 2 great pick sixes this week. I saw 2 great pick sixes.
That is true.
Baker's pick six. Well, it wasn't a pick six. It should have been. He should have kept going, man. He had it. But Callahan O'Reilly for the Battlehawks.
Yep.
His pick six on Jamar Smith was excellent.
Arlington, let's really get to this game. This game had a total of 813 yards.
We ain't care about defense today.
Yards.
No defense whatsoever.
Arlington had a total of 428 yards, 343 passing yards, 86 rushing yards. DC with 384, 249 passing yards, and 135
I will
rushing.
give credit to Day Hunter. Day Hunter did an amazing job today for the Renegades, taking over for Kalen Balaj and stuff like that. And, he had some excellent runs. I was shocked seeing a Sal Cannella drop. I saw that. And it just, like, at times during the game, it just seemed like Perez was just carving up the defense, man.
Dude, he did. But again, here it goes. Coach Doorman Harris. I don't care what it is this dude is doing. Dude, here, Arlington, let me give it to you. It's first quarter ends 9-3 DC.
Thanks to now that people want to all of a sudden get involved with We saw a 9-point touchdown. Did y'all really just said that on social media?
Well, yeah, I mean, Arlington, it's social media. Most people aren't bright on social media.
Goofies, just nothing but pure goofies.
Listen, Arlington, you go into the second quarter, 14 points by Arlington, 12 points by DC. The third quarter, this is where it became a defensive game because it was only 6 points scored by each team. And then in the fourth quarter, 7 points by Arlington and 6 points by DC.
We said 5 minutes is always the best 5 minutes in football right there, man.
And that's what we've been saying.
Best 5 minutes in football belongs to the UFL.
Hands down. Hands down. Hands down it does. I mean, Arlington, what we saw today in this game might have been one of this might be the highest scoring game we've seen all year. Highest total yards we've seen all year. I mean, these were two teams sitting there slugging it out between each other. What?
Same social. I want to talk about that. A lot of people online that said they want to get rid of the Super Challenge.
We can talk about that after the season. It's already late. It's too late. We can talk about, hey, right there.
So here's the question I've been wanting to get on.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the MVP? Is it still Bryce Perkins, or did Te'amu, the throwing Samoan, take the lead? Mind you, today he had 3 touchdowns, 2 in the air.
Oh, that's
one
right.
He caught that touchdown. Yes, he did.
Amanda's right. The biggest what TF moment might be the spike. The spike for the pick might be the biggest WTF moment of the year.
There should be one.
Arlington was fighting for their life. It was a great game. I mean, that's why we have it as the number 1 game of.
And you can never. I mean, even though the ending was horrible, you can never be disappointed by the way those 2 quarterbacks go at it.
Mm-hmm. In Arlington, you want to hear the best part about it? We both went 4-0 again.
I know I'm behind like 8 games. I don't even care at this point.
Something like that. But Arlington, that was the game. So Arlington, let's go to it. Are you ready?
Power rankings. We gotta do the XFS Power Rankings, man.
Me too, Arlington. And wait, Arlington, are you ready? You like this, Arlington? You like this?
What you just do?
Hold on, where did it go? Boom! The XFS Show Power Rankings. Here are our power rankings for the week. We'll start at number 8 with the Brahmas, 1-7. I mean, yeah.
Wait a minute. What is this, please? Also, that's again.
Well, just in case we use logos, we've already been sued a couple times, Arlington. Do we want to be sued again?
Okay.
That's
all right.
Please don't sue us again. These logos are courtesy of the UFL. That's all I got to say about that. What? Mad Max? What the hell? Oh, these idiots. Mad Max, the MVP. Jesus. God.
Come on, Eric hitting the parlay, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I said, yeah. I mean, listen, the Birmingham Brahmas, man. Oh, God, those poor guys. They just can't seem to catch a break, Arlington. Oh, and number 7, Arlington. Why do we have Houston at number 7?
Because it's Houston.
Well, last week we had Houston at number 5. You do realize that, right?
Because it looked like, because then it looked like Houston was on his way, man, to shocking people. And then they just laid a huge egg against Michigan. And not to mind you lost to Danny Edley. So you deserve to be at number 7.
Correct.
Stay there.
Now we have the Memphis Showboats. They moved up from number 7 to number 6. And Arlington, do you know why they moved up? Do you know why they moved up, Arlington? 14 passing yards, and they won the game. That's why. That's why. Number
I'm
5.
gonna have to get you for this Brahmas thing. You got a whole UFL site to look at, and you still call them Brahams.
Oh, did I spell it wrong?
You got a whole UFL site in front of you, and you still call them the Brahams.
That's the Brahmas. That's the Brahmas thing. You know, they suck on the field and they suck in the power rankings until they can win a name.
They don't get no love.
I'll spell their name right.
Oh God.
All right, number 5, we have the Arlington Renegades at number 5 and 3 and 5. That makes sense why we would have them at number 5.
They were the highest scoring team and they lost.
Yes, highest score. Yes, they were. They scored 30 points and they got whooped. They lost.
Thanks to Luis Perez at the end.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
The Stallions, because they're still a good team, even though they lost.
Even though they lost. Well, I mean, look, the top 3 teams all won. I mean, you could even make the argument that you could put the Stallions above the Panthers, even though they lost, because they did lose to a superior team in the St. Louis Battlehawks. But
I really thought that the Stallions was going to beat them. Like,
I did too. If there was the one team I was worried about, it was the Stallions coming into St. Louis. That was the one team I was worried about, right? Yeah, exactly. And if somebody would have told me an hour earlier instead of 6 minutes before 7 o'clock, we could have stayed a little bit longer. But that's okay. Anyway,
it happens, man.
Yeah, the Panthers at number 3. Dan, that's interesting that Dan said he'd put the Panthers at number 3. Please say why. Because they played Houston. Why would you put them at number 1? I can see
because
number 3.
Danny Etlin. Because of Danny Etlin.
I guess, but Etlin's been doing good.
But that's the thing, though. Remember, even without Bryce Perkins, they still won their game. You get what I mean?
That is true.
I mean, you could put them there. I get that.
Yeah, I get it. Number 2, we have the St. Louis Battlehawks because that was probably their most complete game. The defense stepped up. But listen, guys, unfortunately, we cannot put anybody above the DC Defenders. They lead the league in passing yards, receiving yards. If I'm not mistaken, they're like top. They're right there in the rushing yards. Defense, again, they're right there with the defense and being in the top tier of their defense. And right now, they don't really show a weakness. They don't at all. That team does not show a weakness, Arlington. You know, I'm running with the B-Hams too. The Brahams too. I am too, Eric.
All right.
Arlington, there's our power rankings, right?
All right, take them down, man.
I am. I'm getting ready to right now. So there's our power rankings. If you don't like them, too bad. We'll put it up on our page. We don't care if you like them. That's the only power rankings that matter. You know?
Understood.
Yep. All right, Arlington. Here it is.
The USFL Conference Championship game is going to be first on, what's that, June the 7th? Yes.
Okay, I get it. Okay. All right. Makes sense. I can see why you would do it that way.
So June the 7th, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here you go. Since San Antonio is the home team, does that mean the Battlehawks will be on the opposing side of the field Friday night? I don't know, but you know what? Because it is a Brahmas game, I'm going to wear my Brahmas to their home game. I'm going to wear my Brahmas gear to their home game because it's the Brahmas home game. I'm going to support the home team.
June 8th. Okay, so it is the 8th. So it is Sunday.
I'm supporting the home team, Arlington, this Friday night with San Antonio. They're the home team.
Good for you.
They're gonna get to do the battle. They're gonna get to do the bull walk down Cole Street. They're gonna do the bull walk.
Okay.
Talking to their stadium, right? Who's the home team? Battlehawks or the Brahmas?
They get to do everything, right?
Yes, they get to do everything. Oh no, Dan, don't doubt it. I'm telling you, I'm supporting the home team. The home team
is Pizza Hut anyway, Derek. Talking some
Right.
no emos. It's Pizza Hut.
No, I'm not a traitor. Is it a home game? Is it the Brahmas home game or the Battlehawks home game?
It is a Brahmas home game.
The
Brahmas
Brahmas
are the
home game.
home team.
So if you go into that stadium wearing Battlehawk stuff, you are a traitor against your own Battlehawks because they're the visitors and you're not supporting them.
Can you wait? You could have waited until. See, so my question to you, sir. Now, how are you going to do B-Hawk Live when you sitting here just told your audience, your Battlehawk audience, that is, that you're going to wear Brahma gear?
Because I'm at the Brahmas home game. That's why. I'm going to the Brahmas home game. Brahmas home game. Now, do I think the Brahmas are going to win? No, I don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to get rolled.
Oh, so we going to make the picks? Is that what we doing?
Oh, yeah, okay. So here it is, week 9. Oh, wait, Arlington. Is this a Battlehawk home game or a Brahmas home game?
The Brahmas are at, this is the Brahma home game.
Okay.
So Battlehawks at Brahmas.
Wait, Arlington. It's what?
A Brahmas home game.
Oh, what does it say? St. Louis Battlehawks at San Antonio Brahmas. The Dome of America Center. So it's a Brahmas home game.
The Brahmas home game.
So you have to wear Brahmas gear. No, it's
Okay,
not like
put that graphic back up so we can make the picks.
no, it doesn't matter, Eric. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I bet you the Battlehawks wear white. I bet you they wear white jerseys at that game.
Bet you they do. Yeah, right. It sounds like an away game. You're right. You're right. I guarantee you that's the most fans those losers are going to get in their stadium. Never.
A Brahms cookie.
They'll wear their grays.
They're
No,
not wearing the home game.
regardless if it's in St. Louis, it's not a St. Louis home game. So I don't want to see anybody dressed up. Nobody. Unless you're dressing up in Brahmas gear. That's it. That's it. Then, Dan, you will not be allowed into the stadium. Not be allowed.
That's not true.
Not be allowed.
Oh, but the grays. They're gonna wear the grays. Okay, that's fine. But still, they're gonna wear their away jerseys. Is my
Just called
point.
me out. See, I was waiting for Amanda to call me out, but Dave, you wore Battlehawks gear when you went to the Brahmas home game. I'm just saying. You're right. I did.
Hey, okay, they're gonna wear their gray jerseys. Okay,
Wear their gray jerseys.
cool.
Hey,
Hey, but that's what they wear.
About this game, I'm gonna talk about this game more on B-Hawk Live, right?
All right, Battlehawks and Brahmas, man. So who's winning the matchup?
Seriously. Did you really just?
If the Brahmas mess around and beat them, I'm picking the Battlehawks here. But the Brahmas mess around and beat them, I'm laughing the rest of the week. I'm laughing the rest because it's gonna be one of those, man. Like, come on, man. All right, the next one.
All right, let's move on to the next game. The Renegades versus the Showboats.
I don't know anymore. I was going to pick the Renegades, but after the performance they decided to pull off tonight, earlier today, I'm going to go with the team with the 14 yards.
Listen. There's no telling what the hell Mr. Turner, Coach Turner's going to do, right? 14 yards.
I'm going Showboats.
I'm going Boats also.
Say what?
I'm going Boats also.
Let's go, Boats.
Let's do it.
There's nothing to lose.
We left early, and the Battlehawks came back to win.
Made the best comeback to start the year off. Oh God, please don't remind me that. David,
all right, you have the this might be another game of game of the year. Michigan Panthers
I
versus
don't think so. Well, there's a lot on the line here. There's a lot on the line here. One, we don't know if Perkins will be back for this game.
That is
Two,
true.
if Birmingham wins, they will hold the tiebreaker.
That is true.
Which will lead them. It'll be in a tie for first in the USFL conference.
It doesn't matter. They're still playing in Birmingham.
Which won't matter. So that's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Panthers, and drop this one because I'm picking the Stallions.
Interesting.
But you want chaos, don't you? You want chaos.
I do, bro. I do want it. I do.
I see, and I've always been a big fan of chaos, but not in this case.
Here's why I want it. The Stallions have won that conference and that USFL for 3 years in a row, right?
I get it, man. I get it.
I want to see the Panthers do it, and I think the Panthers can do it. That last game they played against them was a close game, if you remember. I'm going Panthers because I have such a high lead on you, so I don't really care.
You know what? Let me go ahead and flip it, man.
Nope, too late. I
already wrote it. Okay, that's fine. All right.
Cool. Listen, I think we can just agree on the last game, DC and Roughnecks.
Yeah, sure. Defenders.
I mean, do we need to talk about that one? As much as I love DC.
What's there to talk about?
Right, exactly.
When I say St. Louis and DC right now are looking really promising right now, it's going to suck if DC, it's going to go to the end of the season.
It's going to go
St. Louis,
no matter what.
DC St. Louis is playing for playoff position.
We are not talking expansion because I don't think that shit's going to happen. There might be a new team somewhere, though, up north. Yeah, well, just remember, every time Jordan comes into the Dome, he beats us.
That's not in the Dome this time, brother.
Don't matter. Every time he comes to the Dome, he beats us.
Speaking of the Battlehawks, they are 4-0 against the USFL in the Dome.
That is true. That is true.
That's something to take on right there. All right, gang. We're going to get up out of here. It is time.
We have our picks. What a great weekend of football. Guys, make sure you tune in next week, next Sunday at 7 o'clock, where we will break down all the games again. Hopefully, we have another 14-yard masterpiece by Troy Williams. They win again.
It's got to be by everybody, man.
I don't care. I just want to see another 14-yard masterpiece.
All right, these are my picks. Those are my picks there.
And if you guys do not have your tickets yet, where is it, Arlington? I had it on here somewhere.
You picked the Renegades, didn't you?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I picked the boats too, bro.
So those are your picks then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, they are.
All right. I got them right there.
Guys, haven't gotten your tickets, reach out to Dan Chandler. It is dan.chandler@ufl.com.
Is that for the championship game?
That's for any. If you ain't got tickets for Friday, if you ain't got tickets for the rest of this year, reach out to Dan. I almost have it. I love
they just added another home St. Louis date.
Do what, Bob?
I love they added. It's 3 more St. Louis dates, home dome dates. Friday, conference championship, and the championship game.
Yep, right there. Reach out to Dan Chandler, dan.chandler@ufl.com.
They said the Wyoming Goats.
Maybe. But right there, guys, screenshot it again. Dan Chandler, dan.chandler@ufl.com to get your tickets for this Friday and all the upcoming playoff games. Dan will take care of you guys. He's a good dude. Arlington, we got anything else to say, bro?
Good night, y'all. We'll see y'all on Sunday.
Will it be this Sunday? Well, Friday. We'll see you Friday. And then we'll definitely see you Sunday, right after the game, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
What time they end? Oh, all right. See y'all later. We out here.